Imagine a world. You can't scream, you can't cry, even a whisper means death. Now picture a family in this world, a family trying to protect their children, wanting to hold their loved ones, but calculating every touch, every breath. That's exactly what A Quiet Place is. But don't mistake it for an ordinary horror movie, because this film tells the apocalypse not by screaming, but by whispering. The film drops us into an unfamiliar world. Abandoned streets, empty stores, leaves swaying in the wind. At first glance, a classic post-apocalyptic landscape. But something's missing. Sound. People aren't gone. They just can't speak. Because in this world, being heard means being dead. The creatures can't see, but they can hear, and they kill whatever they hear. The Abbott family is trying to survive in this silent hell. Sandy pathways, sign language, quiet dinners, everything is calculated, everything is measured. If a fork drops, if a toy makes noise, if a baby cries, that moment could be your last. Director John Krasinski doesn't use explosions to tell the apocalypse. No mass deaths, no chaotic scenes. He just takes away sound and builds a world with what remains. Silence in this film isn't a lack of something. On the contrary, it is the story itself. And as you watch, you realize that silence sometimes says more than 1,000 words. Krasinski once said in an interview, "This is actually a family film. It just happens to be in the horror genre." And he's right, because beneath all those creatures, all that tension, lies a father's struggle to protect his children, a mother's sacrifice, the guilt between siblings. The spoken word count in the film doesn't even reach 100, but every scene is like a sentence. Every glance is like a paragraph. Let's get to the backbone of the film. Sound design. This is one of the things that makes A Quiet Place unforgettable. Throughout the film, there's almost no music. Dialogue is minimal, but the silence isn't real silence. Creaks, breaths, heartbeats, you hear everything. And that's why when a door creaks, your heart jumps to your throat. When a glass breaks, you hold your breath. The sound designers did something genius here. They built the silence so intensely that the slightest noise creates the effect of a bomb. This isn't just horror, this is pure cinema psychology. Your brain gets used to the silence. And when that habit is broken, your reflexes kick in. You sit up straight in your seats. And think about this. When the film was shown in theaters, something interesting happened. Audiences were afraid to even breathe. Nobody ate popcorn, nobody checked their phones. This is very rare. Imagine a film that breaks the fourth wall. That pulls the viewer into the story. It doesn't just make you a spectator, it makes you a participant. You're in that house too. You're holding your breath too. You're afraid of getting caught too. That's why A Quiet Place is more than a horror film. It's an experience. So how is this approach different from classic apocalypse films? Most apocalypse movies show you the world. Destroyed cities, fleeing crowds, fighting armies. A Quiet Place shrinks the world to a single farm, a single family, a single night. And this shrinking is actually deepening. Instead of big budget effects, you see the power of small moments. A father silently teaching his son to dance. A mother unable to scream while giving birth. A daughter trying to feel her father's love, but unable to hear the words. The film is actually asking you this question. Can you stay human in a world where you can't speak? Can you express your love? Can you apologize? Can you form connections? The real fear in A Quiet Place isn't the creatures. The real fear is getting lost in silence, not being heard, not being understood, and maybe dying with the things you never said. That's why the film is universal, because we all sometimes can't speak, we all sometimes sink into silence, and we all want to be loved, even in that silence.